Hello and welcome to day 14 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a Cricut paper craft project with a spooky theme every day for 20 days. Today's project are these lovely filigree border cards. I've designed 3 pre-made SVGs, which are free to download for the next 24 hours. They make a lovely base to your Halloween greetings cards, and then there's a big space in the middle for you to add your own embellishments, toppers, greetings, messages, whatever you want. To get the free SVGs for this, head to craftwithsarah.com/HCC if you aren't already registered for the Halloween Craft Countdown. If you are, then in just a little second, I will show you how to find them. But first, I just want to say a little bit about the second half of this video. So the first half will be how to load these into Design Space and cut them out. And then for part 2, I'm going to show you how you can design your own border cards, just like these, in Cricut Design Space. But first, you'll need these files, so if you're already registered for the Halloween Craft Countdown, here is how to get them. If you've already registered your free ticket, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you have been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files and projects from the Halloween Craft Countdown. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to upload the SVG files into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project, and then press Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the files on your computer, or you can drag and drop them in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of your folder, and within there, go into Cut Files. And then this has 3 separate file types. For Cricut Design Space, you need the folder which is called SVG files. Make sure you're choosing the files which start SVG in the file name. I'll choose that one and drag and drop it in, and it will appear like this. So you'll see your front card and then the color to go underneath, and press Upload. Click on it to get the green border and then add to canvas. We need to know how big to size this so that it will fit on the card we'll be making. I'm going to use a pre-made card, and this is how big mine is. Let's have a little look. If you're using a pre-made card blank like me, then first you'll need to measure it so you know the exact size to make the filigree border card SVGs in Design Space. So here's my card. And I'm going to measure it from one side to the other, and it's a square card, so it's the same on each side, and mine is 6 inches, so that's the size that I need to make my design in Cricut Design Space. I need to make this 6 inches wide to fit on my card, and my base card I'm using is 6 inches, so I need to click on this one and then ungroup the layers to separate them. Press Select All, and then Align, Center to put them one on top of the other, and then I'll group them again by pressing Group. Now I can click on it, make sure my padlock icon is closed. If it's open, then you can click on it to close it. Then type 6 in there and hit Enter. And my height changed too. So now I know this is exactly 6 inches in size, so it can be cut out and go on my card. If you want to change the color, you can click on the layers and then change them in this drop down here. If you don't have pre-made card blanks and you want to cut one in Design Space, here's how to do that. I'll just put that color back, and I'll hide this by clicking the eye so that you can see what I'm going to do for the next steps. Go into shapes and choose a square. And then untick this padlock this time. Make the height the size you want to make the card, and the maximum you can cut is 11.5 inches on a regular size cutting mat, which would mean my card would be 5.75 by 5.75 inches. So my height is 5.75 and my width will be 11.5, which is double that. And I will cut it from white card. To add a score line down the middle so you know exactly where to fold, go into shapes and then choose that score line. Make it the same height as the card. Press select all and then align and center. That might look right, but when you go and press make it, you'll see it's going to do the score line on a random piece of card and not where I want it to go. So we need to tell the Cricut where to do that score line. Press select all again and then go to attach. Attach is going to say to the Cricut, do the score line in the middle of my card. So now you can see it is appearing where it's supposed to go. Let's turn these other layers back on and drag them to the top. Oops, there we go. And now, because this is 5.75, I would just need to change that to fit. You see it'll perfectly go on. And then that is how you can make your own card blanks in Cricut Design Space. So go ahead, size your design, get it cut out, and then we'll see how to stick it together. Here are the two layers of my card cut out. So now all I need to do is glue them together. So let's turn the front bit upside down, and then you can use glue or double-sided tape just to go down the edges to stick it to the layer underneath. So I'm just whizzing around here, and then I'm also going to go in the middle. And that should be enough stick. I'm not going to try and get my glue in the little bits around the edge, but of course, if you want to, you can. And I just stuck my finger in the glue. That wasn't very smart. So let's get that stuck on there, and it will line up exactly on the edges. So give it a little wiggle around if it doesn't. Push it down. I don't want to push too hard because I don't want any of the glue to smush out and be visible. But there we go. And this is now ready to put onto my card. So you can either glue it straight on, which is what I'm going to do. You can use foam squares, but if you've done it all the way up to the edge of your card, then there's not really a lot of point in doing that because you won't see the dimension as you've got nothing underneath to compare it to. So just some glue or some double-sided tape to stick it to your card front, and then you're all done. So this one will go on here, and then I've got my other two designs to show you. So there's this one with the little ghosts and the bats, and then the third design with the skulls and the ghosts and some more bats, but it's, as you can see, quite different to that one. So those are the 3 pre-made SVGs that you get as part of the Halloween Craft Countdown. But for the next part of this video, let's go back into Cricut Design Space and find out how you can design your own filigree border cards in Design Space. Here's how you can design your own filigree border cards in Cricut Design Space. First, we're going to get a square, and I'm going to cheat and just use the backing square that comes with this design. So let's ungroup it, and here we go. And then we need to make 2 more squares. So if I right click and duplicate, make this one white and make it a little bit smaller. I might actually just do this in nice sizes. So that one's 6 inches. I'll make this one 5 inches. There we go. It could probably be a little bit bigger. Let's go 5.25. And then we need one more. So either right click and duplicate again, or you can press duplicate over here. And I'll make this a different color again. And then this will be my middle bit. So maybe 3.5 inches. Possibly bigger. I'm trying to match it to the proportions of that one a bit. That looks good. All right, so let's drag a box around those three and go align center to put all of those squares one in the middle of the other. We now need to cut these all apart from each other. First, I'll do the red one and the white one. Click the red square in your layers panel, press shift and choose the white one, and then press slice. And that will cut one out of the other. Now you can delete the white one in the middle. So you're just left with the red one, which I'm going to hide, and then the outline of this one. And now I can select that one, press shift and choose my green one, and slice again. And now I'm going to hide that white layer by clicking the eye icon, just in case I need it later. I'm not sure if I will. Delete the second one here, which looks like this. And then I'm left with this one, which is my outside and my inside square. So you see how it looks like this one? We're just missing all of the pictures in the middle. I'll delete this one so it's out the way. And zoom in a bit so it's easier to see and turn off those grid lines. All right. Now we can have a little look at some pictures to fill in these gaps to make our border effect. Go into images, and if you've got the Cricut Access subscription, then there are loads to choose from in here. You can even go straight to decorative elements and see if you can find any little bits in there, but it might be easier to do a search. Let's have a little think about what I could use. I might do a flower one just to show you that it doesn't have to be Halloween based. A nice way to search is to go down to where it says layers and press single, and then under operations type, press cut only. And that just filters it down a little bit so it's easier to find the right kind of images. We want fairly simple graphics, which are going to be easy for the Cricut to cut out small. I'm going to choose a couple here. These are quite nice because they're already in a line, so they might be quite easy to use. I was kind of hoping just for some nice little simple flowers. They used to be really easy to find in Design Space, but now there are so many graphics in there, it's a little bit harder. I just want a little flower all on its own. I like those swirl lines. I'm going to keep that one. What if I do simple flower? Will that help? Not really. And that one's kind of what I want. Let's have a look. Oh, I was hoping that would be an image set full of flowers, but clearly not. All right, well, I'm just going to use what I've got and we'll see how it turns out. I quite like that one. We'll go for that too. Alrighty. So I've just chosen really quick images because I don't want you to be sat here for an hour whilst I'm picking out the perfect pictures. But I recommend you probably should take a bit longer than I did. Okay, now we have our pictures. We can start laying them against our design and see what we like. So this one is going to be really nice and easy because everything's already in a line. Put that there. You need to make sure it overlaps a bit with those squares. Otherwise, everything will fall apart when you go to cut it out. So it's going to need to touch these. And then for little individual pictures like this one, you can just place them wherever you want them to go. And I might have a nice swirl going down one side. Remember, you're only going to see what's in the gap in the middle. Join that one there and then maybe put this one. Ooh, didn't mean to make that bigger. A little flower there. I'm going to do this quite simple just so it's a little bit quick, but you can add as many or as few pictures as you want to. And I'm going to copy that one and just put another one there. Right. Now I've got different tops and bottoms and sides. If you want to, you can make them exactly the same. And I am going to select my swirl and have a look in the layers panel. This is 2 layers at the moment. I don't want that bottom one, so just click it and delete it. Select that one, press shift on my keyboard and choose those flowers, these ones here, and then weld them together. Now we'll join them all together into one layer. And now I've done that, I also need to cut that bit off, but I might do that at the end. So let's duplicate it. And then this one I'm going to flip horizontal. And then select them both, align top. And now I can drag them down. And because I aligned them, I know that they're going to be perfectly aligned on the left and right, so my card will match. And for this one, I can kind of do the same thing. So I'll duplicate it and then select both of them, align them centered with each other. So now one is exactly on top of the other. And I'll just put that one back into position. Then with my second one, I'm going to move that down here and kind of do a similar level of overlap, but then flip this one vertically. So now they are vertically mirrored of each other. I think I will move it down a bit more because otherwise I'm cutting off that flower on the blue, and maybe the blue can go up a bit so that it's touching there. Okay, I think that is going to look good, but let's just double check how it will look by clicking on our main original green, yellowy squares and go arrange, bring to front. And now that that's at the front, I can see which parts of my picture is going to be poking through. It's looking good to me. So we will hide that one and then delete these. I don't need them. Select all of them and weld them together into one, and then turn that back on. Now you'll notice I've got some bits going outside the edge. I don't want them to do that because otherwise that won't cut in a perfect square. So let's go into shapes and choose a square, and I'll move everything over a bit so it's easier to do this, and then just add some so that they cover any bits which are poking out. Select them both and weld them together into one layer. And that's because you can only slice with 2 layers. So now I've got 1. Select my picture of my flowers. That's 2. Hide this so you can see what I'm doing. And then press slice. And that will cut those squares out of the flowers. So now you see I've got them all separate and I'm deleting them to just have this bit left. Drag your squares to the top, select everything and press weld. And that's joined it all together. It did change the color a little bit, but that's okay. Now I can see from doing this, actually, that wasn't lined up very well because I've got all these teeny tiny gaps. See if I zoom in. So we can fix that by going into contour. So I'll press my layer, go into contour, and this lets you hide little cut lines that are going to be too small to cut. And it's going to be really slow to load because I'm recording my camera at the same time. When you scroll down, the very little cuts on the bottom, I'm definitely going to hide those 3. I'm not even sure where they are, but they're so small, I know my Cricut would have problems cutting them. I'm just going to do the same thing for all of those little bits. It's not actually picking up these bits in here, so I'll need to do something manually with them. But that's hidden most of the teeny tiny ones. So the easiest way for me to do this is probably... So it kind of looks all right on that side. But it's this side I didn't have them lined up very well. So we'll go into shapes and choose a circle. If I hadn't have been doing this so quickly, I would have double checked that. So that's totally my fault for not checking it before I welded it. So I'm going to put a little circle over these tiny gaps, just because my Cricut would not be able to cut anything that small and it's likely to tear the paper. And while I'm doing it, let's just see if there's anything else. You'll probably find that you've got a few little areas that come up that just need to be coloured in, or filled in rather, but the contour tool doesn't show it because it's not actually a little gap. I don't know where that went then. I think I just clicked my arrows and I've lost my design. There it is. So you can use little shapes to fill in any bits that you think your Cricut would struggle with, which is what I'm doing now. And don't worry that it looks weird. It will look perfectly beautiful momentarily. Cover that bit, I think. Maybe rotate it there. It's going to need to be a bit bigger. And then everything else looks just fine. So now we can select everything with select all and weld, and that's going to join those circles on. So now I filled in all those teeny tiny gaps. See, they're not there anymore. And my Cricut will now be able to cut this. Everything's going to be beautiful because it's all touching, so nothing's going to fall apart. I've got a tiny gap there. It's so small, you can hardly see it. But I'll fix that with the contour tool. Let's go all the way to the bottom. And then when it loads, just there it is. Let's hide that one. I'm actually going to hide that top corner too. Okay, it's gone. Fab. Okay, so I did that really quickly. I would recommend you take more time and also check things through more thoroughly before you weld them. But there we go. That's how to design your own filigree border cards from within Cricut Design Space. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these filigree border card designs and how to design your own in Cricut Design Space. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more card making and Halloween ideas. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 15 of the Halloween Craft Countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!